You are live? We are live now?
Yeah, we're live now.
Okay. Well, welcome to Matt and Ted's with Marcus. First day turkey hunting. And as usual, we didn't shoot anything. It's pretty much our go-to when we make Marcus buy all this expensive hunting gear. And
Did you buy anything for turkeys?
well, no,
I
but
bought like $90 in ammo because I bought all that 410. Bought 2 different boxes of 410. That was like $50, and then I bought a box of 12s after I decided not to use the 410. I bought 12 gauge.
Okay.
That was another $35.
yeah, but like all Matt, he didn't have any camouflage or hunting shotguns or anything like that before. I was like, hey, why don't you take a couple of hunting dogs from me and get into hunting? And then we take him out, and he's like, what, you guys just come out and sit out here all day?
Sit in the mud.
But, yeah. What did you think about turkey hunting for the first time, Marcus? I'm not a big turkey hunter either, so you're like,
I liked it because we moved around versus waterfowl where we set up and that's where we're at and that's what we're doing. And, you know, come what's may, here we are, right? Where felt like we had a little more control, I guess. We just had more, we could make decisions. We could, like, all right, we're going to move over here. All right, we're going to move over there. Not that it did much good, but.
and there were a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
Well, that too.
And we busted a roost.
Yeah. I thought a tree was falling.
It did sound like a tree was
I
falling.
was so confused what was happening.
It did sound like a tree was falling.
If this was one of those Bigfoot shows, like Finding Bigfoot, we would all have been like, that was him. He was out there. We got him.
It could have actually been Bigfoot.
It sounded like an entire tree.
He
was
could have been
falling
just
over.
throwing like parts of a tree at us.
If Sasquatch could yell, fuck!
Well,
Yeah, well, that was my favorite part about that. There was somebody sitting somewhere, and we busted that roost. I would have said the same thing.
I had bad hearing, so I didn't hear him. And then we had a hen get mad at us.
That was fine.
In the second spot, we got more gobbles than we did the first spot.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about the third spot we sat at. You're talking about when we
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we were in the same.
same area.
We didn't drive to a third spot.
No, where you picked up and moved.
And you went in the lottery, so not like just the open season, and you didn't see much either.
I was seeing them, and I didn't shoot at one because I couldn't see if it had a beard or not because I couldn't see through the brush. But I could see that it was a male turkey.
Could have been just somebody walking with their decoy.
No, it was not. It wasn't that. And he was being pretty careful too. Like he was being quiet. I mean, I thought about shooting it, but then I would have, that wouldn't have been good. If you can't see the beard, you don't shoot them.
Even if it's smoky gray.
Yeah. I mean, if you can't see that beard, then that's all bets are off there, But no, I saw a few birds, but it wasn't like previous years where, I did well.
We only, because I've only I went after turkeys hard one year, and I really wanted to do it with the bow.
Did you get one?
I shot one, or I don't know, let's say I shot at one, came in, started destroying my decoy. I shot at it. It did a complete backflip. Feathers went everywhere, and it just ran as hard as possible off, like across the field. And I went looking for it, and I couldn't find it, and there wasn't any blood, so I'm guessing I somehow missed it, or I don't know. Obviously,
Where'd you think you shot it at? Like the body?
well, I had like a mechanical turkey broadhead or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I shot like right at its
Mm.
like a little bit lower than what you would shoot with a gun. But at the same token, like I was also new to bow hunting, so I was like, I had the shakes.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh my god, there's a turkey right here. It messed my decoy up. I think I have that. I think somewhere in this room, is there a broadhead on top of those? No. Somewhere in here, there's a broadhead that's got. Oh, right there. And I was so new to
Oh, you got the feathers on it?
yeah, that was the missing broadhead. Or
Oh wow. That's funny. You tied the feathers to it.
well, I didn't get that. That was my tag puncher right there. Some feathers and a missed broadhead. Toby.
Toby.
No.
But yeah, so that's the only experience. And then after that, then that's when I got way into dog training, and I just kind of gave up on turkey hunting because I like yesterday I was out training dogs from 8:30 till 2:45 or whatever. So
Yeah.
I mean, since you can call, and I'm not like, I could only do like box calls and slate calls.
I mean, they work.
Right. But like, I just, I don't know. I just didn't have the time for it. So but when you were like, I'll go and call, I was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And you kind of know all the spots. I
Yeah.
ain't driving around looking for turkeys. That year, I think Lauren's a little bummed because she's like, my favorite thing I ever did was go turkey scouting because it's like nice out and we just walk around before turkey season and try to find the roosts and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah. And you shot a few, right?
Yeah, I haven't been doing it that long myself. Like I started really green, and it took me a couple years to get the hang of it. So
Did you shoot one your first year?
no, I definitely didn't. It took a couple years to get my first one, and I only do the weeks because I don't know. I guess one of the reasons why I don't do the main season is just because, I want to do other things. So it's like nice to get out there in the spring. And plus, if you draw on the week 1 or week 2, then it's kind of nice because there's less people out.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case for me this year. I went to all the places.
Toby,
that
get up
else
here or
is.
go.
Sit down.
Toby,
Sit.
or just tell him to get on the couch.
There you go.
But yeah, I kind of like, normally it only takes like a couple days to get a turkey and then you're done, So I've gotten, 3 years I've gotten one. And then there was 1 year I kept on passing on the Jakes because I wanted a bigger turkey and I didn't get one that year.
I definitely think I'm going to put in for the lottery for fall turkey.
I am too. There's only 200 licenses, right?
I don't know. It's not a
It's
lot.
really low.
It's really low.
For public land anyway.
Can you get them for private?
I think so. I would have to read. I never hunt fall turkey. But
Well,
I figure if I had a public land, we'll have to look that
But
one.
I mean, we have a couple spots private where we probably could shoot one.
That's true. Yeah. I guess
In
what
the
it's not.
fall, but not now in the spring.
What?
We could shoot. You're saying that it would
I
be
don't
different
have-
in the
I don't
fall
have
than
any-
in the spring.
I have one place that we could shoot a turkey on private. Or maybe, let me correct that. Maybe two. I mean, almost definitely two. I would just have to ask, and I'm sure I'd get okay. But like where like the main goose field that we have, I'm not gonna be like, hey, go shoot your turkeys too in the spring. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. But I'm sure on some of the goose fields where we see turkeys, if I'm like, hey, do you care if I shoot a turkey while I'm goose hunting or something? They don't care because they're chasing deer and stuff. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I would like the public land one because we've put them up.
Yeah, just with the dogs.
Yeah, and that's legal, I think.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, I gotta look it up just to make sure.
You cannot hunt dogs with. You cannot hunt turkeys with dogs in Michigan. Period.
Well, I thought that was just in spring.
I thought that was just spring too.
Oh, that's true. I don't know. I read the spring rules. I didn't read fall rules.
But yeah, I think in fall you can shoot a. If I'm not mistaken, I could be completely retarded. Like, I think you can shoot a hen in fall, and I think you can use a dog.
Yeah. So this is from the state of Michigan. Hunting with dogs. Can I use my dog to hunt turkeys? Yes, you can hunt turkeys with dogs during the fall season.
Oh,
So
And
Right.
was it Frost or one of my dogs when we were grouse or pheasant hunting that we put up a turkey?
Chubbs.
Oh, it was Chubbs.
Yeah, it was Chubbs.
Scared the crap out of me
Yeah.
because it was like, oh, it was that time we went through the swamp.
It was near that time that we went through the swamp. It wasn't the same day.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we did that on private land. Remember that one place we were hunting pheasants?
Because it came up behind a log.
There might have been 2 times. I remember.
I'm pretty sure the time you were like,
Oh no, you're right. There was a turkey at that when we walked through that swamp. That was terrible. I remember I'm just like, that's not looking dry on the map. And you're like, oh yeah, it's dry.
okay.
It was not dry. We walked through that whole entire thing. It wasn't that bad though. Like, I mean, it was bad, but I'm talking about the ground being, it was firm.
Yeah, maybe if we had waders on. Like,
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not like walking through
like we weren't
like some-
sinking,
right.
but like we had.
They're wet.
You had like normal boots on.
Yeah.
I had like muck boots, and like the water was up to like here.
And that actually cost me about $200
What?
because I
Oh.
didn't, because of the Chubbs got a huge like ear infection. Like his whole ears were like, it looked like he got like poison ivy on the inside of his ears. And so we had to like take him to I should have washed his
Wait,
ears.
now
right
why
now.
is there a puppy down here?
I don't know.
What are you
Whoa,
doing?
dude?
Whoa, girl.
Who's this girl?
Girl.
I can't even tell anybody
Girl.
apart.
She's
Girl,
got the skinny
okay.
face. Girl has a skinny face. Pete has a
Go on,
skinny
girl.
face.
That was a fun time though.
Yeah, I would almost like go target turkeys with the dog, or not like tell the dogs to find me a turkey, but they would find. You know what I mean? Like you could just go walking through the woods, and the dogs would find some turkey hiding.
Yeah, I mean, Frost has put up a couple just by doing training. Like I think it was like last year. I had him out by the fields with the barn, with the big outbuilding, the DNR outbuilding, and then we're out in that weed field, and yeah, that turkey was just sitting out there.
I'm pretty sure that's what Boykin's big part of their history in the dog world. What is turkey hunting?
Is it?
Uh-huh.
I don't know too much. That breed's interesting. It kind of looks like a Cocker Spaniel a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a curly hook. It's like a curly coat cocker.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'd ever go that road, but
they're
they're cool dogs.
I think if like I ever got out of the breeding and doing the whole golden thing, and I was like, I can only have one dog until I die. Like if I was like 80 or something,
Yeah.
I would do a Boykin because like there's a couple people in the club that have them. There's one couple that have 2, and like they run all the hunt tests just as well as any of the other dogs. They're really entertaining to watch run because they're so small. But they'll retrieve geese, they'll retrieve ducks, they'll flush pheasants. They're very, like if you get a well bred one, they're very versatile, and they're, I guess if you're, older, it's like, yeah, I'm sure it's still a strong dog. It's 35 pounds, but like, it's not like messing with a 65, 70-pound dog.
Are they pretty hyper? Or are they?
I mean, I feel like they're no worse than like the Goldens.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, like when they get out of the truck to train and hunt, they're
pretty amped up.
They're amped up, but like at the house, it seems like, or like just chilling, like afterwards, they're fine. They're not like psychopaths.
Yeah.
Why is like, do you think the cockers are just psychopaths all the time?
I wouldn't call them psychopaths, but they're pretty active,
Like if you had one in the house, you think it'd be annoying?
I don't know. I've had a Cocker Spaniel when I was a kid.
Yeah, but
it
wasn't
wasn't
like
annoying.
But was it a Cocker Spaniel that was on like whatever that show was? The cartoon, Lady and the Tramp. Like
yeah, it was like one of those.
A show cocker.
Yeah, it was. I wouldn't quite go that far. I think it was more like a, what do you call those, puppy mill cockers? It was bought at the mall.
It was bought at the mall.
It's one of those. It was an asshole. It bit me pretty good. Like that was the dog that bit me, and I had to kick it.
Jesus.
I did. I had to do what I had to do.
So are you gonna take the 12 gauge or the 410 tomorrow?
Well, seeing as I didn't shoot it at all, I was just lugging around a whole bunch of extra weight. I don't know.
I think you should do the 410.
410?
It'll be fun.
It was I originally wanted to do the 410 because I hadn't used it yet, and just to use it. And then talking to some of the guys at work, they're like just kind of questioning that call, right? Since it's like I don't have a 12 gauge, right? If I only had the 410, yeah, but I have like a fairly expensive 12 gauge that I bought and only killed a couple things with, and it's a nice gun. I do like using it.
Yeah. No,
you use whatever gun you want, but
you said your workmates like gave you some shit.
It was a matter of, do you want to go to all the trouble, waking up early, getting out there, and throwing what, an eighth of the lead downrange? Maybe. I don't even know. Way less. I mean, it's not the difference between a 12 and a 16. It's a 12 and a 410. That's a lot of lead. It's a huge difference.
I mean, it is
shot pattern and just amount of pellets.
I personally think you'll be fine as long as your shot placement's good. That turkey's
as long as you shoot straight, then it doesn't matter what you shoot.
Well,
right?
you should. I mean, we're trying to call them in, and they're going to be like, we're not like trying to flush them, and we're not doing anything like that. This is a little more controlled.
It's what we're trying definitely to do. Even having not seen any, it definitely a different vibe than when we're trying to call in a flock of mallards and they're going to come and, it's like an air raid, and I want to throw, I want to hit as much as I can. Right. I could see why it's different with turkey, and the 410 would be not better, but I see what you guys are saying.
Yeah,
right, about it being enough, right?
The only thing
I don't want to shoot. If I shoot a goose, I want that fucker to fall in the water. I don't want it to go and then fly away. No,
if you were shooting,
if
you were shooting like TSS with your 410 and actually hit it in the head and it was within 25 yards, I guarantee you it dies.
Yeah, it's just right there, man. Like the thing.
Yeah, but he would like when that, like whatever, like the first setup we had in that field by like the big metal garbage stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like that far, Jake, you ain't killing a turkey at that distance with a 410.
What? I guess that's a good question. What kind of choke do you have on that?
It's
I
a
only-
fixed
They're
barrel.
both.
Oh, it's a fixed
Yeah,
barrel.
the 410 is a
Full-
Oh,
fixed,
maybe then I would.
fixed full, but I only have a full choke on my 12 gauge as well. I don't have a tighter choke.
Oh, you don't have a tighter choke? You don't have a turkey choke on that?
I don't have a turkey or an extra full.
Okay.
But he was shooting special turkey shells. I was gonna just.
I got special turkey
I
shells for
see.
both guns. So
You took
either
a
way,
duck-
I'm shooting a turkey's round.
I might just keep that 12 gauge then, if that's the case. Because that would have been a full. That would have been a long shot
Right.
if that where we had the hen placed.
Yeah. Like
I'm
feel
just
like
assuming that you had a turkey choke
No.
on that.
if,
Okay.
if you
Well, I don't have a
that
turkey
410
choke on the
at
12
I
either.
would say what 20 yards in.
We might not call him in that close.
Well, no, I'm just saying like you would level a bird with a full choke at 20 yards and in.
Yeah.
What's the closest turkey you've shot?
like 10 feet
Oh, yeah.
last year.
Oh, I could slay a turkey at 10 feet.
Yeah, that I
Sure.
was like, I just moved, I just put the decoy out, and I just got comfortable, and all of a sudden, like a hen and two jakes just came off my side. I was sitting in a deadfall. I'm just like, oh, and they're really close. And I just remember, I didn't think about like they were all clustered up, like going to my decoy, like, is it okay? And they're moving really slow, and they're all clustered up, and I'm just sitting there, just like moving like a clock, like with my gun, like as slow as I possibly could. I swear to God, it took me about a minute to get my gun up to my shoulder, and like they were all just staring at my decoy, and I'm just like, and they're so clustered, I couldn't take a shot. I didn't feel comfortable doing it because I would have hit more than one. And then one of the jakes like stepped out, and then I was like, bye. Fucking boom. The head, like, literally, like, just, I thought I shot its head off pretty much.
Somebody could answer this probably better than any three of us. But to me, like, I had my gun sitting like here or whatever. Like, I could pick it up. If a single bird came into our spread and it was within the closest decoy, I don't understand why turkey hunters feel the need they have to, like, if you're saying, because I've never killed a turkey, and somebody might be like, that's not true. If they're not like as hardy as even okay, let's just say a goose. If a goose came in and it had the ability to run like a turkey, I feel like I could pick my gun up and shoot it dead with not holding my gun here, like, okay, here he comes. Like, you don't think you could just like eat? I know the turkey's gonna start running or try to fly, but I still feel like I could shoot it.
I'm not sure I understand the question. Are you saying, like,
Why does everybody like hold their gun up like for such an extended period of time and is like feels like I almost feel like you can be more still just sitting there like comfortably, and then when you want to kill that turkey, just boop.
I don't, you can. I mean, if that's what you want to do.
Well, that's
You know,
what I'm going to do.
I guess, yeah, I mean, that's up to you. For me, the reason why I'm doing that is I want to take my time for the most part, and I want to be comfortable with that gun lined up.
But
on whatever I'm going for.
you think that like if you body
They're
shot,
really good. I feel like turkeys are really good at seeing motion, and they got great eyesight. So the whole game for me is just trying to be as still as possible.
but like if you body shot it, you don't think you're gonna kill it. Like if you shot it, like
I've never body shot
like
one. I
if
can't
you
answer
like
this question.
okay, if
Yeah.
the turkey's back's to you,
I'm not
like a
shooting that.
goose,
Yeah.
and you water swat a goose, you better shoot that thing in the head. Because if you don't shoot that goose in the head, you've learned this, it ain't gonna die.
Right. That's
But
like-
you're not shooting lead.
What?
You're not shooting lead. At the
It doesn't
goose.
matter. The back plate of a duck or a goose, I feel, is like them having like a bulletproof vest on.
So even if you could shoot a goose with lead, you wouldn't shoot it in the back.
I mean, I'm still gonna shoot it in the back. I'm gonna shoot
I'm
it in the
still
head.
shoot it in the back.
I'm
gonna
shooting
shoot-
that fucking goose no
I'm
matter
shooting the
what.
goose.
He just might fly away.
No,
I'm gonna
I'm
cripple it.
not gonna aim center mass for its back. I'm gonna shoot for its head.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if he's flying away, like if I jump shot a goose and it's going up here, I'm not gonna freaking just try. Like I'm either gonna try to break its wing, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like my first shot, I'm gonna try to shoot him in the head.
Yeah.
You know.
I wouldn't consider myself a serious turkey hunter by any means, but I think it's more of an ethical type thing, you know, with a lot of those guys not to do that.
Well, you said that one you shot ended up with a bunch of lead in the meat, so there's that fact.
And you.
Well,
shot it in the head.
that was my first bird. I shot it at the base of its neck.
And you're not really.
And that was a 40-yard shot. So I'm sure my pattern opened up a little bit. And then that turkey, that was very dramatic for that turkey. It was like it didn't even flop or anything. I just shot it and it like slowly fell to the ground, and that was the end. It was
So
like
again,
And
the guys
think
I
about
work
this:
with-
most people aren't shooting lead. Most people are shooting TSS.
that's what I was shooting.
Right.
That's what I shoot.
And TSS is not lead.
Are you? Yeah, you got lead.
it's a mix.
Okay.
I mean, I was just gonna go.
I got straight TSS for the 410, and I got mixed. Those Remingtons are like a mixed.
Okay.
Black Hogs, aren't they? Or Federals.
Federal.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Federals.
I was just gonna go complete redneck duck hunter. I was gonna shoot it with a number 5 Boss duck shell and my Muller UFO duck choke.
I'm sure it would have been fine.
Oh, I guarantee you would have been
It would have
fine.
been dead.
Because if it would have kept moving, I would have just shot it again. Like if it tried to fly or run, it's gonna get shot again.
Yeah. Seems like a lot of people like to shoot like smaller shot at turkeys too. Like, and you wouldn't think that.
Well, that was my question.
Yeah.
Why are all the turkey specific shots like
I'm looking. it
like
up.
7.5?
Well, no,
and 9.
this is
Yeah.
why. Because you're shooting TSS. I guarantee you, if you went and got a steel load of turkey, you're not shooting that.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
the
you
same-
can't shoot anything larger than a 4.
but you're not shooting.
in this.
You're also
But
think
upstate.
of all the duck hunters and goose hunters nowadays that are shooting geese with number 7s, like with tungsten.
My buddy said, "Go use my goose shells and shoot him with 3.5 BB." That's what he told me to do.
Well, that would be illegal.
It would be.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Well, yeah, you're also only supposed to shoot one," but you know, that was that guy, right?
Yeah,
He wasn't- he-
lives
he's
in
not-
he
he's
lives
not
in
on-
Mexico.
He's not on public land.
He lives
With-
in Mexico.
with DNR guys like all over the place. He's on like a farm somewhere.
In Mexico.
So
Yeah.
supposedly
I think he's in France.
the smaller sizes like 6 and 9s are preferred for turkey hunting primarily because they offer greater pattern density, meaning more pellets in a
More
given
pellets.
area.
So I think the turkeys that you've shot, you've just hit them right, because what that's telling me, the way people pattern their guns and try to always shoot them in the head, if you body shot them guys, you're gonna have a hard time killing them.
Yeah.
So what I
I mean, even on like the big male turkeys, like the whole thing, there's like a big thing of fat that you got to cut out of it. It's like
Right.
almost like this. It's kind of like what they use, like for fighting. It's just like a big blob mass, you know.
So that's why everybody's trying to head shoot them, because if you body shot them, you're gonna have a hard time.
Yeah, it's like this big fat mass. Yeah. So
I was also told you want them to be like the feathers to be relaxed. If they're all puffed up and you shoot them when they're puffed up,
But you're
gonna have
not
a harder time.
you're not shooting the body. You're not,
Yeah, so if you shoot them in the head, you're fine.
Fair enough.
I mean, I had two toms come in, very big ones too, and I was just like, they both looked like the beards looked identical to me, about the same length, and I'm like, which one do I take? And then in my head, I'm just like, whoever puts up their fantail first, and fucking boom, that fan came up, and I was like, bingo, took my shot. End of it. I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, you're just saying that it was strutting instead of not.
Oh yeah, it was strut. Yeah, it's all. What they were puffed up. They saw that they were coming in about to compete for my decoy.
I mean, and if he's like mauling your decoy, he's gonna be puffed up anyway.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're like attacking.
I'm gonna tell you what, tomorrow.
Well, one Jake, he was pumping my decoy. He wasn't puffed up though.
Like
he huffed his head off.
Well, no, I waited for him to finish. I mean, I watched because I was sitting there in my head. I'm like, do I shoot this Jake? And I'm just like, and he came in with a hen, and she was just like, have a good time, and she left, and he was just going to town on my decoy, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna shoot you, and like he's just humping it, and then he would take a break, then he'd go at it again. He must have been on his fourth time, all right, and then I let him finish, and then I took him, and then I left.
That's what you want to do, because then he's gonna be relaxed, right? He's not gonna have. You don't want all that endorphins in the meat. You want him to be like coming down, right?
But that was an interesting. I was pretty cold too, so I was ready to get out there. If it wasn't cold, I would have never shot him.
You wouldn't have shot him?
No, I would have kept going because it was early. It was early in my season. I would have passed on.
Well, I'm gonna tell you tomorrow. If we see a freaking turkey, I'm gonna shoot it, as long as it has a beard.
Yep. I'd recommend it.
Are we doing the same time?
No, I don't think we have a plan tomorrow. So I think I'd say we get. So I'd say we get there at 5.
Get there at 5.
Yeah.
Now, should we consider maybe
People?
The reason there was nobody there at 8:30 or whatever time we got there was because they had already
Left.
shot him up and left?
We can consider that. Yeah.
They shot all the fucking turkeys. They're all
They
dead.
didn't
No, they didn't
turkeys.
shoot
They
all.
shot-
Well, we heard
There were 10 cars at that parking lot, just like we ran into. And
Oh.
But see, okay,
fucking
that
15
field,
dead turkeys
which
left
don't
that field.
mention the name
Yeah,
of what the
no,
field is,
Yeah.
that field for some reason,
Doesn't get a lot of pressure.
only thing I see pressure on it is pheasants.
Yes.
There is a ton of people that go out there and run their dogs for pheasants. A ton. I've maybe ran into 2 or 3 deer, and I've hunted. There was a period of time where if I couldn't find like birds somewhere, like at a lake or somewhere else, that if like kind of like Matt's spot by his house, like if he's like, I just want to go out duck hunting in the morning, I don't care what I see. Like, I would go there because maybe shoot 1 duck, maybe shoot your limit, but you would see 300 ducks. Like you saw, because of how that area is set up, you saw a lot of birds. Like you always saw.
Yeah.
So
Every time I've been there, I've seen lots of birds. Usually they're out.
and
farming.
you haven't been there
Yeah.
since my little spot.
Yeah, I know.
Like when that. So yeah, it's fun to just go there and do that, but never see anybody hunting ducks out of it. Lots of pheasant hunters,
Deer hunters.
not a lot,
Not a lot, but there
not
are
a lot,
some.
not as
ran
many
into
as
one.
there should be.
We
I've-
ran into
I-
on the time that you took me there.
Yeah, but like I feel like that place should be loaded with deer hunters.
I saw 2 stands today, 2 tree stands.
Yeah, but I never see
They were old. You could see like the chain like
going into
going
the tree.
into the tree.
Yeah.
Like I don't like. I've literally been at my little spot. If I had a crossbow or if it was legal to dual hunt, I've had bucks just walk on the other side of that water and just look at me during deer, and I had deer tags. Like I just, I didn't have
You
like this.
just can't shoot him with your number 5 boss.
No.
No. No.
Probably ain't gonna do the job.
I'm sure you could figure it out.
I feel every time, like when I was sitting on the field like a couple weeks ago, as far as entertainment goes, like that field is my favorite because you could watch so much stuff. Like you might not be seeing turkeys right away or anything, but like you sit there long enough, like, well, here comes a hen, and then cue the deer, and they like literally pass each other. Like, what's going on, Jenny? Nothing much, Bob. Just a normal day. Like they just walk right past.
Yeah, there's a lot of wild.
There's so much.
All
there.
those weird owls.
Yeah, the short-eared owls. Yeah, those are cool.
I've seen
Pheasants.
Weasels,
Pheasants, eagles. Yeah.
Whatever.
no weasels.
Oh, weasels.
Weasels.
What the
I've seen mink.
mammal head we found today?
Oh, that was a
The
groundhog.
Was that a groundhog or a muskrat?
The groundhog, 100%.
Okay.
You think a coyote got him?
I don't know.
I almost stepped on a coyote there.
Well,
There's
sure.
coyotes out there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's sandhill. That field is very interesting.
It's active, and it's weird, like how, like if you watch the waterfowl, like they're going in between the farmer's pond
And the
and then the lake, and they're constantly going back and
well,
forth.
because the lake's mainly public, but you can't get to it.
Yeah, that's hard.
I really want to try from like the where you were talking about the fence. I want to try from that side again.
I feel we're so close there.
But
Like,
dude, one time I did that by myself, and I got so. And you know how crazy I'll go to get to.
yeah,
somewhere,
you'll
right?
go a lot harder than I will.
I went so hard that I had to call. I couldn't walk back to my truck. I had to call Lauren and was like, I'm like exhausted. Like a deer hunter, a deer. I made it to like hard ground, and it was me and Toby. The only thing I shot was a snipe. Okay, I shot a snipe. It was me and Toby. I'm in the middle of the woods, like in waders, camo, shotgun, dog, and I'm like just like dying in the
Smoking
woods.
a cigarette.
Yeah, smoking a cigarette, trying to bring myself back to life, and the guy like he's like, I saw you walk out. Are you okay? And I'm like, all right, like just leave me alone. But yeah, it's so hard to get back there. Like if you could get back there, like in and eat, because the other thing about it is you're gonna shoot the shit out of geese in there. You're gonna 100%. If you take 5 guys back there, you're probably gonna shoot a 5-man limit of geese. Could you imagine walking all those fucking geese out of there?
Yeah. Sweet pea, just drag them all.
You're talking what, like 2 miles? 2 miles and when it's that time of year, 2 miles of super thick swamp, or no, you're talking a quarter mile of the nastiest swamp that you can walk through.
Yeah.
And then just the tallest prairie grass up and down hills to get back to your truck. You would have to, it would be like elk hunting. You'd be like, all right, let's hang these geese in a tree.
Right.
Like,
right.
Or you would clean them out
I
there.
was about to say, we just poured them
You wouldn't even want to carry them all back. It would be so bad. It'd be so bad. I've had to do that in North Dakota, carry like geese out of like a really long ways, and that sucks.
But at least you're on hard ground.
Yeah, but you're talking.
It's better than
going because the swamp. When I try to walk through it, it is not nice. It is so thick of buckbrush.
Maybe we'll get lucky. Won't get any rain again this year, and it'll just be dried up.
No, what we need is. No, screw walking all the way back there. You know how easy it is to get out of the truck and go to my little honey hole if that's full of water?
That would be nice. Though, yeah, that's
good
way
to go
better.
there.
Yeah.
Because the way it's set up, if you can sit 30 yards up on that hill and kill ducks in that hole, and then all the stuff, like you see how the birds fly like low over all the hills. And then you can just shoot geese while they fly over.
Yeah. I mean, you saw those 2 geese today. Like they just flew, like what, a few feet off the ground in front of us.
Oh, I don't.
It's like, how often do you see that? Like,
They do it constantly.
yeah,
there.
they're
Constantly.
always they're like coming right at your head. Like you could like lay out in the grass and then jump up and grab them. You know, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's an interesting field.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Yeah, no, I'm down with doing that one spot for our sit. And if somebody is there, we're still going to that spot.
Yeah, because they're not going to go over there.
Yeah.
They're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm not a huge. There's so many people out. Like, I'm not going to drive around going, "Is there anyone here?" I'm just not going to.
And then what we'll
No
do,
one else cares.
And then what we'll do is go around the back and then go.
Yeah.
Because I know I've walked all that back stuff so much. I know the ins and out of all that, all of it. I don't know what kind of crops they have back there this year, or like I haven't been back there this year, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe there's nothing. I mean,
It'll be
I
interesting.
doubt they started anything.
To see if the woodcocker's still there tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm curious about that because, like, yeah, Chris and I were walking early in the morning in that field, and I've never seen that many woodcock in my life, especially around here. You couldn't walk 10 feet without putting up 1 or 2.
I've seen them like that during duck season. Like
Yeah.
where you walk out and it's just like
they're everywhere.
Like 'cause when you're walking out duck hunting to that hole, you know. So you're talking before I started hunting. I think I took you there once, and it was like pretty much dried up. So you're talking 5 years ago. You'd walk out and it was like startling because like you'd have the big headlamp on, and they'd be like.
Yeah,
Like in front of you, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
exactly. That's exactly what was happening. Yeah, no, that was pretty cool.
I'm surprised me or Marcus didn't fall over in the woods today. We just let you have a headlamp on.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I like looked. I was like, you guys aren't. It's probably smart that you guys did it that way, but that's why I kept on stopping and shining my light when I was stepping over logs and stuff.
I was wearing mine.
I had mine
feel
too.
the need to turn it on because I can see
Yeah,
off of yours.
yeah.
I do wish it had it on
Like,
when the Sasquatch came out of the trees, though. Because I would.
well, that's probably what scared the Sasquatch.
Did I turn? Did I?
It was on the first time it went
the
off.
first one was on, but you couldn't see.
That's when Sasquatch threw his log out of his nest. Scary ass Sasquatch.
I swear the tree was falling over. I was like, "Where's that tree?"
Yeah, because that's like Matt.
Like
I had like long conversations. Matt's like, the woods are scary. Like a tree will fall on you.
I mean, I've seen so many trees fall over. It's possible.
The
Like
kid died up at the
house.
nature preserve.
Yeah, the nature preserve. That kid died.
Yeah.
And that's the nature preserve. They should be manicuring that
They
shit.
donated money to go on the check out those enclosures. You know. Yeah, that's really sad that happened.
It is 100% sad, but like, yeah, it could have been a tree.
We
It
were-
could happen anytime.
we're-
Anytime you're out in the woods, a tree could fall on you.
We're at that nature preserve maybe a couple weeks before that happened for like watching their owl demonstration, like going around looking at all owls and everything. And I remember looking at their trees over all those enclosures and everything like that. I'm like, yeah, it's not looking good. Like a lot of like oaks everywhere, dead limbs everywhere. Like, I don't know.
Why are they? You know how much it would cost to clean every dead limb out of any? I mean,
I don't.
The parks
I do know
department
how
can't
much
do
cost.
yeah, but you got like how big's your plot?
Hey,
1 acre.
California
Okay,
over there.
1 acre.
Yeah.
But that's like
Hey, just go sweep it. Just rake the woods, man. It's fine.
You can go rake the woods.
hey, California. That shit needs to be logged out.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, it does. That's why the whole West Coast is covered in smoke every year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't cost you shit. Like the nature center could just bring in some
You're right.
people and say, "Hey, how you want
You're
all
right.
this wood? You want all this wood?
I
How
would
much
go.
are you gonna pay me for all this wood?" And they'll be like, "I'll pay you $20,000.
I mean, when I was a kid, my dad would get permits from Weyerhaeuser, which is like big timber company, and they own like huge portions of Washington State. And he'd get a permit to go cut firewood out of their like scrap piles because they like log it off and then they'll bulldoze huge piles of wood and there'll just be dead limbs and not limbs but logs all over the fucking place. And you get a permit and you give him, back then it was probably like $10, and he could fill his, I don't know, a dozen cords a year or whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
And we go and get as much as he wanted. And you just go back into those areas and clean out all that dead shit.
Which,
right. But you can't but that was because it was private land. You can't do that on state land, DNR land.
Well, on federal,
parks, any of that shit.
So where I took you camping,
yeah,
in the Manistee Forest, we're allowed to cut and burn anything that has fallen.
Right.
Like we can't cut live trees down.
Right.
But at the same token, aren't we in some sort of tariff war with Canada? Like, start logging what needs to be logged. It all grows back, and it's good for the habitats.
But that's if we let it grow back.
The problem with
it's gotta grow. Well,
the problem with
gotta let it grow back.
I mean,
specifically, any human intervention is considered bad because it's not natural. So what that doesn't include.
Well, your fucking wildfires are natural.
You can go back to like the first Europeans that ended up in the San Francisco. Can't remember if it was. I'm confused. It might be L.A. or San Francisco, but they would talk about. I guess it was San Francisco. The forest fires in the summer were so bad nobody wanted to live there. Like even 300 years ago, 400 years ago. Like it's not new.
Well,
they have their whole system now is based on anything that's natural is good and anything that humans do is bad. Period. That's the end of it. So as soon as you do a thing, it's bad.
Well, okay.
So they're gonna but that doesn't account for it's not a natural. It's already not a natural environment. Because we've already had impact.
Well, so the fire, but that's my point. If you want to stop the fires, you're gonna have to intervene.
You have to fucking rake the forest.
You do it to thin out. It's good I believe to thin out a lot of these
and
ways.
Control.
Now, do I trust that we'll do it in a manner
that is right? No,
I don't trust that.
Do you trust that the government's going to do anything in the right way? No,
not at all.
And the natives that were here before, they would do burns. It was like there are islands in the Washington island chain in the Sound where there were tribal lands where they would burn the whole island off every year. All of it. That
field that we were in today, like 5 years ago, they burnt that whole field.
Yeah, you were talking about that prescribed bird. And you're mad.
Yeah, because they
did ground nesting birds and stuff like that. I'm not sure how that impacts them. I know I do think prescribed burns are good.
No, I do. I would love for them to burn that field because I love getting rid of all those like cockaburs and stuff for the dogs.
Yeah.
But can we do it at a time? Let's do it.
Well, they're trying to do it during a wet period, but
when you want to do it in the fall.
Yeah, but at the same token, the way
we got a lot of growth. I mean, right now we don't have a lot. There's less to burn. I'm assuming. Right now there's a less to burn. Whereas if you have like a bunch of growth.
Yeah,
that I feel
it's a lot more smoke.
So you do it in early spring, so you're burning off the dead from the last season.
But I would much rather than burn it off either before that. It's hard because
do it in the winter. We don't get any more snow.
Yeah, we don't get snow.
We don't get any snow or rain or anything in the winter. It's just cold.
Yeah, where is all our rain this year?
I don't know. It's not looking good so far. I guess it's raining tomorrow. No, that's reminds me. I went.
There's a chance of it.
Yeah,
Sunday rain.
I saw PM rain, but Marcus
It says
something else.
80%.
I got 90%. Let's see. Oh, we're good tomorrow. It's not going to rain until like noon. We're okay.
At the same token, I almost want to be out there. Like, we need to find a big, like that spot that we're gonna go to after where we sit. There's a lot of open fields, like really open fields.
Yeah.
I swear to God, when it rains out and I go dog training, every freaking field that's open, they're out there in the rain.
All in private.
Yeah, it's all.
It's all in private. That's really
But they don't hang out in the woods because they're like, we're gonna get hit by lightning.
I don't know what they're thinking.
Trees are falling on us.
Yeah, trees are falling on us.
That was the crazy. I've never heard turkeys like that. Like they must have been like. To me, it sounded like 20 turkeys,
Right.
all tangled up. Like,
No, it sounded like one turkey.
it sounded like the forest was coming down.
Like,
Like that's what it sounded like.
having never heard a turkey coming out of a tree, but being familiar with chickens, it sounded like one chicken times 5 falling through a whole bunch of limbs and bushes. Like that's what it's like. A chicken this big going through a bunch of shit. That's what it sounded like.
When I was like
That
a
was
little
the
kid and had an 80cc 4-wheeler, like, and would ride all these trails, like I'd always bump turkeys and stuff, like in the woods. And every single time I was always so amazed, like how, I won't even say dumb, just like tough they were. They were just like fly through the fucking canopy or whatever. And I'm like, Jesus, it looks like it really hurt. You know what I mean?
Smashing into
Yeah,
windows
just
and shit.
smashing into shit, like not graceful at all. Just like, you're like, oh my God.
I was driving on. This is years ago. I was on. This is around the time I first started getting into turkey hunting. I was driving on 96. And that's a pretty wide expressway. So what is it, like 5 lanes going east and then 5 lanes going west?
Like what, up by Lansing?
No, I was further east,
Oh.
and a gobbler launched himself and was flying across the expressway. And I just remember just going, oh. The biggest bird just launching itself over that far of a distance. It looked like it barely made it, but it made it. So it's just a big bird.
Yeah, how far do they fly? Like
Not far. Can't be that far. I mean, expressway width. I don't know.
Like, can a turkey just be like, I need to fly over to my cousin John's house in Gregory and like take off from Pinckney and fly over there?
I don't know. No, not
I
that
don't-
far. I'm thinking like 100 yards.
I think yeah.
I think it takes
up.
less.
Look how far a wild turkey can fly in
Also,
one flight.
How high off the ground do they prefer to roost? Like, are they just going to go up as high as they can get?
Probably.
Because
Usually under 100 yards.
That's what it says.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they really ain't trying to
That's
fly.
farther. Than
No,
a
it takes a
chicken.
lot of energy. That's a lot of weight, man.
They're
Wait a minute.
They don't have.
Wait a minute. A goose.
They got the right kind of flight feathers. Though.
Goose
It's different.
aren't real.
Yeah, these geese you keep talking about.
They're zombies.
They're mechanical.
No, they're different.
They can sleep while they're migrating. They can shut half their brains off
All birds can do that.
while they're migrating.
I don't know if all birds can do it while flying, but all birds can shut half their brain off. They have a left half and a right half, and you can tell which half is awake by the opposite eye. So like I got chickens. If I go out at night and I shine a light in my chicken coop, I could see chickens with both eyes closed I can see chickens with left eye open or right eye open. And then if the left eye is open, the right half of the brain is awake, and vice versa.
Huh.
And if both, or they can just go to sleep. It's up to them. It depends how secure they feel. But they could do that all day long or all night long. They switch. So you let one half of the brain sleep, and then however long they do it, and then they can switch it and let the other half sleep.
I mean, I knew that ducks would do it, like, for lookouts and stuff like that. I just didn't know these birds were capable of doing it while in flight, like long distance.
I mean, there's like,
but
what are some of those seabirds?
You've never shot a 20-pound goose?
Yes, I have.
So fucking a lot of turkeys are only 20 pounds.
That's a big turkey.
I mean, no, I don't know. They don't fly that far. That's all I know.
It's
They're not geese.
It's the feathers. It's the
the feathers are heavy.
It's the difference between a jet plane and a helicopter. Like, they're just different birds. They
not both can fly really far. That's like saying
they fly different.
Wait a minute. That's like saying the difference between a coot and a duck. Coots still migrate.
Their feathers are different. They're different birds.
Yeah, but if you've never even seen a coot. You've never even seen a coot.
I'm not talking about coots. I'm talking about geese and turkeys. They do different jobs. They have different niches, then they have different kinds of feathers. Turkeys don't have the big, long, smooth.
Yeah, they're designed. He's going after design. I mean, look at quail. They don't fly. They don't fly worth of shit. Like they fly distance.
If you find a wild quail and you bust a quail, if you bust a quail, covey of quail, they fly in over 100 yards. Well over 100 yards.
But still not far.
Bust a
quarter mile.
Bust a covey of pigeons or doves. They're gonna just fly. They just fly away. They do it well and gracefully.
Sometimes they just fly in a circle and then you get to shoot them.
It's like you were saying about them going through the woods.
Computer here.
I
have a computer upstairs.
If you spook a bunch of wood ducks, they're not crashing into the tree limbs like these turkeys are. Right?
I get what you're saying.
They're going in between. They're aerodynamic.
They're still
different
birds.
Shape. They're different feathers.
They're still birds.
It's Maserati versus Ford F-350. They're different.
An F-350.
It's crashing through the fucking limbs.
If we spook your truck, and an F-350 both can drive from New York to California. Maybe not at the same speed.
If we spook your truck, it's going to sound like a turkey you smashing through the woods. It's going to hit every fucking thing.
Right.
Fucking.
All I'm saying is, why can't a turkey fly a mile?
Because it's a turkey. I don't know.
It's a wild turkey. I don't want to hear about domesticated.
I don't think.
Why is a cow different than a deer?
It's really not.
It's a different animal.
Right, but
what?
You ever seen a deer?
What? I don't know. Why? She's probably outside, hanging out by the pond.
You ever seen a cow jump a 6-foot fence?
I have seen a cow jump, not a 6-foot fence, but I've seen a cow jump a 4-foot fence.
Deer will jump that 6-foot fence all day long.
Right, but what I'm getting at is it's one task. You're saying, can a deer run and a cow run?
Yes, deer and cow can both run.
Yeah.
Can a deer and a cow walk?
Yes,
they can. Can a deer and a cow both traverse through the water? Yes, they can. Is one better than the other? Yes. What I'm saying is, it's just weird to me that a wild bird, not a domesticated bird, if it can't fly more than 100 yards. That's just weird. It's not a fucking ostrich.
It's closer to an ostrich than it is a condor or an eagle.
All right, here, going back to the quail, most of that species, roughly 100 yards flight.
Really? In the wild?
Yes.
Wow.
And then you look pheasants, same thing. You know, they're not going long distances. I know
I've
it takes.
seen fucking pen raised pheasants while I guide up at the fucking ranch fly well over 100.
I believe it. I believe that, but it's still a short distance. You know, they're not going super far.
Right.
Like you look at all like a lot of that upland stuff, like you know, pheasants, grouse. They're not flying like super
But-
far. You
well,
see that. You keep your eye on them. They need to come back now.
Right. But what I'm saying is like, okay, say you jump a pheasant in North Dakota, right? And you miss it. That motherfucker will sail a quarter mile.
And how far is a quarter mile?
A long ways.
How many yards?
I think a mile's like over 1,000. And you know you've seen them. I've seen a pen raised pheasant coast.
Yeah, I
quarter
have
mile.
too. They'll using the wind or whatever. Like they'll use whatever they got to their advantage, but it's still just not. It's not a big distance. So a quarter mile is about 422 yards. I could see that.
And I can, and so like thinking, and I could see a quail doing that too. I mean, grouse.
I've had quail. I remember I had-
Grouse. I don't feel like are the strongest flyers either. They don't go. They just go from hill to hill, but they at least can do a quarter mile.
I mean, the ones that I've seen, you can watch them land, but you know when they hit the ground, they're running.
But at the same token, like you've only done private land grouse. Like I've been on private, and they're doing easy a quarter mile in flight.
Yeah.
And usually when they hit on private, when they hit the ground, you can walk. If you pinpoint them, like they're on that side of the hill, you can walk right up to that side of the hill, and they're fucking right there.
Yeah.
No,
Still not-
I'm just being like a jerk about the turkeys and all that stuff. It's just like a jumbo jet can fly from fucking France to New York, and so can an F-22. The F-22 actually needs to be refueled probably
Right.
twice. I'm just saying it's funny that like a bird that has the ability to fly and glide, like today, those people pulling the gliders up in the sky and letting it glide, like
What are you talking about?
like the
We
glider
passed the
planes.
glider.
Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't even see them doing it.
There is one. Oh, yeah, you can see one from where we were later.
Oh, I didn't
But
even know.
there's seabirds that can go like weeks without landing.
Right. No, I get that. And that's a strength and conditioning in their wing shape, but it's just funny, like if a turkey really had to do it, it just can't. And I understand it's its wings and its bones, but it's like you're still capable of flight, motherfucker.
All right, well, all dogs are dogs, but some dogs can do things other dogs can't do.
That's true, but they all can run.
Yeah, but
And they all can
I mean,
walk.
look, Toby, as you've said, Toby's like can kick ass on all of the other 4 dogs as far as running. He can outrun all of them, but he's not outrunning a greyhound,
No.
right?
But
Like,
that's what I'm getting at. It's what I'm saying. All birds can fly.
no, actually, no. Penguins
Well,
can't fly.
well, and,
What about an ostrich?
An ostrich and an emu.
Yeah, I
can't
like
fly.
emus.
All the flying birds can fly.
all the flying.
All
birds.
the birds that can fly can fly.
Yeah.
I get your point. I see what you're saying.
I mean, there's certain dogs that can't swim.
I didn't even know.
What? At all? Like they just sank and drowned? Like I had a dachshund and he didn't like swimming, but he could like stay afloat.
I mean, I've seen poodles almost drown. And they're supposed to be water dogs.
This dachshund I tried
Broncos don't swim good.
I tried taking him swimming.
Yeah. No, I've seen some interesting stuff with that.
And I
there's-
walk-
They swim vertically, like they don't use their back legs, and it's just like, yeah. Frost, we got lucky.
there's some dogs that are like turkeys. They can swim,
Yeah.
but they ain't going more than 100 yards.
Yeah, right. Race dachshund, I'd walk him out. I'd carry him out into the water because he wouldn't go. And the second his body got above the water, he'd start dog paddling, whether he's in the water or not.
Oh,
Like the water's up to my like shin, and here he goes. He's dog paddling, and he'd set him down, and he'd immediately
I'm gonna have some more.
do a loop and start coming back.
Did you have the barbecue pizza?
No, I'm about to do that now.
I need to go get another beer. I'll be right back.
He would just
Grab me one too.
he
These
would
things
go
taste
around-
terrible.
like a boat, and he would just turn. And come back.
These things taste terrible. They do. They're bad. I just kicked the camera. Oh, the camera will be okay. So which one is this? Is this just pepperoni or is it?
That's the special. The Ted special.
Yeah, turkeys. They just seem clunky to me. And growing up, I never even knew they even could fly.
We didn't. There are wild turkeys out where I grew up, but I never saw one. I never knew anybody that hunted them. I never knew anybody that said they'd seen one.
I mean, that's the same with. I mean, they're relatively, from my understanding, they're relatively new here. Like, it was. I've heard stories that it was rare to see a turkey. You know, now they're just everywhere. They're all over the place.
What?
Turkeys. We're talking like. So I wonder. You know, you grew up out west, so maybe the same thing.
Well, my brother has a coworker that he was talking with, and apparently there's 3 varieties in Washington State, and we only have 1 variety here.
Yep.
So we have Easterns, and they have, I don't know, 3 different ones. And they have different rules about which ones you're hunting when.
Oh, really?
I'm sure.
You can't hunt all of them, or you can't, well, it's like deer. They have, Washington has whitetail, blacktail, and mule deer. Like, you're not allowed to hunt whitetail at all. Like, there is no whitetail season. But you can hunt muleys and blacktail.
Or is it just because there's not many of them? That's it?
Yep.
This is the barbecue.
If it was off the chair.
Yep. This is the barbecue.
And then you come here, and they're like fucking raccoons.
Yeah.
But
And
you
there's
can't
no
turn around
muley
without seeing any of them.
Or blacktail.
Yeah.
Well, we have much more to say about our first day of, well, not your first day, our first day of turkey season. Other than we're going to go try tomorrow.
How many decoys we put out? Well, we're just doing 3.
12.
I don't know if that's going to work.
No.
I
I do think
when
since-
duck hunters
no,
go turkey
no,
hunting.
I do think before, like, since we have till the end of the month,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not saying we need to go chase turkey like next weekend if everybody's like, oh no, like we don't. I'm not like we gotta hunt them out every minute of the day. You know what I mean? Like it's fun going out, kind of like you said about the week. Like, I'm not going to dedicate my whole month to it.
Yeah.
I got dogs to train. I know you want to get back into dog training, and you have dogs to train.
Yep. I don't even I get to go back out in the first week of June. The jury's out. I don't know if I'm going to or not.
I mean, I want to go out tomorrow and then maybe a few more times, but I do think at one point, like when's sunset?
I don't know, 9, 10.
Like when's last shot?
Oh, it has to be after 8 o'clock tonight. Right now,
Like we could also do some like when you get home from
I'd
work.
love to do an afternoon after work.
Well, we could
cool.
do like during the week when nobody else is going out. Like we could try like even if we all just meet somewhere, you know, or whatever. But I do think it would be funny. Like I don't know. I think I got 5 decoys back there.
Yeah, we could do that.
And just one time, just duck hunters going turkey hunting. Just put all the decoys out. We'll bring a jet sled, like or whatever. Bring the gorilla cart. Freaking just put the mass spread out.
Do they make 2D turkey decoys?
Oh,
Probably.
silhouettes.
Yeah, let's put up like 30 silhouettes.
Do they make? I'm not buying silhouette.
No. That just doesn't seem like a good idea.
Would
Like these guys
Silhouette
wait a
got
second.
good
decoy.
eyes.
If I buy like
Wait.
10 and we put them in our goose,
Silhouette
Spread,
turkey
like-
decoy.
will that do something for us?
Wait, say that again?
If I go buy some like turkey decoys, can we put the turkeys out in our like around when we're done hunting?
I guess like what we put up today, they're considering a silhouette. Your
Oh, that strutter or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Dive Bomb doesn't make silhouettes. Okay.
No.
You know what I have seen a lot though is the cranes and turkeys hanging out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
We could get
Can
some.
we go get a bunch of cranes?
We
and
could get. We
turkeys
could
and
get.
put them
we
out
could
with our
get some
geese?
crane silhouettes.
That's not a bad idea.
Do you think if we put some? spinners-
I'd say maybe some deer decoys too.
Yeah,
Because they seem
let's
to have
put some deer, some
What about
cranes,
spinners?
all of
You
it,
think- you think
everything.
we put spinners? Why hasn't
Right.
somebody made a fucking spinner?
What if
Oh,
we,
you know why they haven't made a spinner? Because they don't fucking fly.
yeah.
Yeah.
What if we just put out a whole bunch of geese, and then the turkeys are like, "Oh, it must be safe over there."
I can't believe they haven't made like, you know how like
I never see the
They
turkeys.
don't get along.
I don't think so. Because I've seen like turkeys like feed up
Toby.
on them.
I kind of want to see a
why haven't they
a
made an
tom come in here and
electrical
start fucking a goose
decoy for turkeys where it's like
I don't
It-
think that's legal. You can't do a mechanical.
You can't do electric calls.
What about decoys?
I don't know.
but why can't you have one that goes like from like walking to strut, walking to strut, walking to strut?
I don't know.
I'm looking.
I thought it was illegal.
It's electric. It's illegal to have electric calls.
Well, that's
But that's not They didn't say
electric.
decoys,
Motorized decoys.
decoys, yeah.
But yeah,
I thought that was
why
illegal,
don't
too.
they have one that opens and closes the fan
I don't know.
like a button, like fucking Mojo,
Dude, that would be pretty cool. Actually,
just like
it seems like that would be an easy thing to make for a lot of people.
yeah. Just,
I don't know.
I'm looking right now.
You're looking?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Decoys and calls. Can I use mechanical, electronic, or live decoys to hunt a turkey
There you
during
go.
the spring season? No. You cannot use mechanical, electronic, or live decoys to hunt a turkey during the spring turkey season. Is a decoy moved by the wind considered mechanical?
No.
No.
Which that's why I'm trying to do what I'm doing with that.
Can I stalk a turkey using a handheld decoys or silhouettes during the spring turkey season? No.
What?
So you can't stalk them. So people will hold like a fan or a turkey decoy.
You can't do that.
No, you can't walk with it. You can't stalk them with it.
Oh,
You
look,
can't
that make
hide behind the turkey.
that's a
Where
good way.
in Michigan?
Yes.
That's
Because in all the other states you fucking can.
I think
well, in
that
Michigan,
avian,
you're gonna get shot because that's what happens.
I think the what brand is the one with the fan that you have? Because I was
I
looking
don't-
at that one.
I don't know what brand.
That one's made for doing it.
That one, yeah, I was about to say that. That one it's a dual purpose. You can use
well,
it.
it has a little window, so you
It's
can look
actually
through it.
yes. Its primary duty, the way it's so marketed is the way it's marketed. You're using it as the secondary method.
Okay.
The primary method is to carry it around in front of your face.
Yeah, I'm not. That sounds like a bad idea.
I'd do
Because
it.
somebody else is going to shoot you.
Someone's gonna shoot you.
I'd do it all day. All day.
Well, you can't. We just
I'll
looked at that.
do it all day. I am not scared.
So the last thing that I've learned recently about turkeys is if you don't want to go through all this like getting up in the morning and chasing them around shit,
You put corn out.
You take a 50-gallon drum, and you put a lid on the drum, and you put the corn on the lid, and you do that for a couple days. Then on like day 3 or 4, you take the lid off, and you put the corn in the bottom.
Well, the turkeys have to find it.
Once the turkeys have found the drum, and they're used to the drum, you take the lid off the drum.
Are you allowed to trap a turkey in Michigan?
No, absolutely not. You put the corn in the bottom of the drum, and then the turkey goes in the drum, and then they can't fly out because it's too narrow. They can't get they can't get enough angle, so they smack into the sides. And then apparently you
hit the drum?
You take a stick or a piece of pipe and you whack the side of the drum, and the turkey just dies. He just fucking gives up and dies. It breaks their eardrums or fucking some shit. They just die. They have a heart attack. I don't know. They die. You walk up, you look at the turkey. Hey, there's a turkey in the drum, and you go whack, and the turkey dies. That's it. Done. Way easier than this shit.
It's kind of like jug fishing for catfish. It's drum fishing for turkey.
Drum
Turkey.
Let's drum some turkeys up.
Yeah, and
I mean, it's
the
what
source
state can we do that in? Because I will drive.
to that
To do it. I will put drums up all over the place like they're freaking the drums they put out for bears. Wait, why can we put bears full of gummy worms or barrels, whatever, marshmallows and chocolate syrup out for bears, but we can't put a drum full of corn for a friggin' turkey?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
I
I want to see this method happening.
Can we
bird flu, probably because of bird flu.
Bird flu?
Yeah.
Why we're afraid he's going to get bird flu and decide to
They
drop
might
it.
spread the bird flu.
I think birds are pretty good at spreading bird flu themselves.
So I heard
trapping turkey
I heard this
and drum
from an eyewitness source who said he didn't believe it, and they were on a job site and they were there every day and they saw these fucking turkeys, so they put a drum out, and one fucking redneck was like, no, this is gonna work, and the other guy was like, this is never gonna fucking work, and then like
barrel
by Thursday he was like, wow, that really worked.
So this is upright drum.
Mm-hmm.
You keep the lid on with some corn on
Yeah,
top.
or a piece of ply, whatever.
And let the turkeys get used to it.
Don't do this at home, folks. You'll go to jail.
Yeah,
And then
I never did.
We're just
I heard a story
and
about
then
this
after
guy.
once the turkeys get used to the drum, you remove the lid,
and they go-
and then they'll try and jump up on top to
They
get
just
some
land in the
corn.
bottom.
Yeah.
You put the corn. You probably still put the corn in the bottom.
Oh, does anybody have 20 gauge turkey shells?
No,
No, I have 7s though.
I have.
I have 7s and 8s.
I got a single shot
I've-
used 20 gauge with a modified choke. Gun's about this big.
I would stick with the turkey choke. You might have to stick with the turkey choke, man.
I don't have a turkey choke. I have a UFO. It's for ducks.
Yeah, it's a turkey choke. That's good enough. Yeah, that's crazy. I never knew about that.
That's
I've
redneck shit to me, man. But
Yeah.
apparently it works.
That's creative.
Yeah.
And how did you figure out you beat on the side of the drum, and that will just
You
I
know-
don't know, because I would have watched. Like
who
my
figured this out?
Well, somebody who had a turkey, an angry, pissed off turkey trapped in a drum, was like, "Well, now what do I do?"
Well, tip it over.
And then chase it, and then shoot it.
Oh, they were trying to kill it. Like it wasn't
yeah.
just that. It wasn't like
Obviously somebody had like, "Hey, wait a second! I got me a turkey in a drum, and I want to eat it."
oh.
And then they had like a stick, and for some reason, I mean, it's hard to smack something that's in a drum.
Right, you're gonna mess it up.
You're
Yeah.
poking it. So
You're
they
gonna stab it.
swatted it on the side, and it decided to die.
But why not just have like a little sliding
I
door
don't
on the
know.
drum
I-
and just stick the gun?
That seems overly complicated.
Yeah, and then the
I mean, it's so easy to take a
Just hit the
and
stick.
then the BBs are gonna bounce back and kill you.
So I was like, when I was in Washington and we lived in the suburbs, we had this old shed out back, and I was getting into the shed for some reason, and I saw the world's ugliest cat living in my shed. And then it looked at me and it opened its jaws like this. And I realized that's not a cat because all I saw was like a patch of fur.
Oh,
And I
awesome.
saw like the mangiest,
Oh,
scraggliest fur I'd ever seen. And I'm like, as soon as I tell my wife we have a stray cat in the shed, I have the world's ugliest cat for a pet.
ew.
And then it looked at me, it opened its mouth like a fucking alligator. And I was like, oh, it's a possum. All right. And so this possum got in my shed. And then my next thought was like, well, I need to kill this fucking possum.
Or just scare it and pick it up.
Well, yeah, okay. So I was like, I'll just go get my 22 and I'll shoot this possum. And then I realized the shed was full of like tire rims and engine blocks because it was my landlord's shed. It wasn't my shed. And so it was full of all these car parts. And I'm like, headline, local man shoots himself with 22 because I'm going to shoot like an engine block and it's going to hit me. Right? And I'm like, well, that's probably a poor idea. So the next thought was like, well, I'll shoot him with a paintball gun. And then my next thought was like, how about I just leave the door open and let the possum like wander off? And that seemed easier. So that's what I went with.
I had one year when I don't know why, but like cleaning ducks and throwing them in the garbage. I swear to God, almost every day
I think I remember this.
there would be possums in my fucking garbage.
I'm pretty sure it's the dead duck bits in your garbage.
No shit, but every single freaking day there would be a I'd go to put the garbage, and possum would be like, I'd be like, God. Sometimes it'd be in there with like it's young. Like, get the fuck out of my garbage.
I'm eating in here.
All right. Well, I think
Yeah.
we've talked enough about not shooting a turkey for a while. Talk to Marcus. Marcus has to go spend time with his wife.
That's what they say.
He's got date night. He's kid free.
I am kid free.
Oh yeah,
You know,
where are those?
He sent them off.
gone.
They're going
let
to
them loose in the
Yeah.
in the world.
Well, one of them's out scouting that field for us. He's gonna overnight it. We'll see him in the morning.
Oh, good.
The other one, I don't know. He'll show up eventually.
He's hunting possums and
Probably.
He's in your garbage
In
can right
Westland.
now. Oh, yeah,
Actually,
that's right.
so he's at my wife's uncle in Westland, and they have like a game preserve or green belt or some shit behind them, and they have deer all the time will jump this like 8-foot chain link fence into their backyard, and like 2 years ago he had one die in his backyard. So like he thinks it got hit by a car, and because it didn't have like a shot any obvious like holes in it. And it like it's in the totally in the suburbs, but there's this big.
That's
green
where the
belt.
Giants are.
Yeah.
Well, this fucker got hit, jumped their fence, and died in his backyard. So he like goes out, one morning to let the dog out, and there's this fucking deer dying, actively dying in his backyard.
Our buddy Kenny, that's been in some videos. He has some stories with friends of them like jumping fences and being impaled.
The deer, yeah, I bet.
Oh, the deer being impaled,
Mm-hmm.
not his friends being impaled.
Both.
Probably both, but
Okay.
I'm talking about a deer right now.
All right.
Not talking about one nut that tried to jump the fence and got snagged.
So this deer that he watched it die in his backyard one morning as he's like drinking his coffee. Like he's like, well, he goes to one of his coworkers at Ford and goes, what did I do with this damn deer? And he's like, take it to the butcher. And so he went and had it cut up and gave us a whole bunch of meat. So
that's pretty cool.
yeah. Backyard buck written on the side of it.
Was it a buck?
Yeah. Backyard buck. That's what he had written on the packages.
One of the biggest deer antler racks I've ever seen was hit by a car. There was like 20 or 30 cars pulled over looking at this deer. And I was like little, like not 10, 11. My mom lived in Kalamazoo and my dad lived in South Haven. So we were driving M43. And so all these people, and like my dad pulled over too. So we're looking at this deer. And I mean, I don't know. It was 17. It was a a massive deer. And some redneck, while all these people are looking at it, walk up well, there's a circle around with an arrow, sticks the deer with the arrow and puts a tag on and goes, "This is my deer now." It was like the biggest deer ever.
God.
He's like, "I want that rack." He's like, "I don't care if I wasted my tag."
I saw a roadkill deer a couple years back. It wasn't an amazing rack, but it was decent. And I'd drive home. And then I had to go back out later, and I drive past it, and its head's gone.
Somebody could have said, "Oh,
I see that all the time.
yeah."
I don't know if they're testing it for CWD.
They're
but
not testing it for
they're
shit.
not
Some
doing it.
redneck.
No, Aaron was
Yeah.
watching somebody. Aaron was watching somebody butchering a deer on the side of M36 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
She asked me about it. She's like, why would somebody be doing that? Why would somebody be cutting up their back? And I'm like, well, they're trying to
Getting the
get
back
they're trying to get
straps.
the back straps because
Mm-hmm.
they got hit by a car and they're not going to be all fucked up, and it's the best part. And then I looked into it, and for like $10 or whatever, you can get a roadkill permit, roadkill harvesting tag.
I thought they were free. You got to put their $10.
I think well, maybe it is free.
You
You have
don't
to apply.
look it up.
Well, I have the app, so just
Yeah, you can apply, but you
I-
just send it in.
yeah. But you can get one and just have it. Roadkill salvage permit.
Oh, you mean you can just have it? You don't
Yeah.
have to do it.
And you can just have one, and then you can get as much roadkill as you want. You must obtain a free salvage permit to possess wildlife killed in a vehicular collision. The permit cannot be used to possess badger, bobcat, brant, coot, crow, bear cub, duck, elk, fisher, Florida gallinule, I don't know what to say. Goose, martin, moose, otter, snipe, sora, rail, spotted fawn, deer, Virginia rail, wild turkey, wolf, or woodcock. So we can't go hit a turkey.
Yeah, I
Oh,
wasn't
sweet
going
pea.
to.
All right, we
So
gotta
basically
cut this
deer.
off.
We got to cut it off.
Yeah,
Deer.
because Sweet Pea just farted and it's disgusting. Bye, everyone. I don't know how to end this shit.
Just scroll down.
How do you scroll down?
2 fingers.
You see my 2 fingers
Come on.
right there?
All right, Sweet Pea. Come on, girl.
This one?
Let me see. Sweet Pea, you are in the way.
Sweet Pea. I smell that stinky pregnant
End
fart.
stream.
Oh, there's babies.
Let's go get some fresh air.
Puppy farts.
Yeah, it smells like
End.
No.